Messy Mondays. Your girl show me. Your girl Marley Mar. So number 40 of Messy Mondays.
Welcome back. Number 4. You know, I had a dream about it, about 40 yesterday, that I was turning 40.
Wow. Talk about hitting fast forward.
I more of like, what does 40 look like? And then I told myself to stop thinking about that because I need to worry about the present.
Were you having like a life moment that you had to reflect on your age?
Sort of.
Okay, that happens sometimes. We all go through that.
It was like work was happening, that was happening, like work was happening, and I think that makes you reflect on what everything looks like. And so, like, yeah, I had to slow down.
I mean, also, I think we should give each other a little bit of a break. Everybody should give themselves a break. Like, 40 isn't what it used to be, in my opinion. And I'm not just saying that because I'm getting older. I just feel like it's not. Like, I don't think that people in their 30s are like hanging it up and saying, you know what, like I need to, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it used to be.
That's true. And then I think about like my parents who are like in their mid 50s and they're living it up. Right. So you're right. 40 may not be what it used to be anymore.
It's not. Charlemagne the God is 40. And look at that. He talks bad shit. He talks about the music we talk about. You know what I'm saying?
I can still live this life at 40.
Right. Exactly. Okay. But speaking of music, that summertime playlist was fire.
It was. And a lot of y'all hit us up like, yo, those are the jams. I even found like old reggae songs, started plugging some stuff in on my page. People were like, ooh, I love this. So that was fun. That was fun to play around with. And I actually played my playlist in the car with some friends. So that was fun.
Awesome. Tell people again how they can actually add to the playlist and listen to the playlist. Let them know so they can get involved.
So if you go to Spotify and you actually look up my name, it'll be under Marley Mar. You can continue adding to that playlist or look at the playlist and play with it. So it's an open playlist on Spotify. Apple Music, I'm still learning how to play with it, and I'll let you guys know on IG once I get that up and running.
Yeah, but everybody has Spotify nowadays. Even if you don't, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has
Apple
Spotify.
Girl. Oddly enough, I'm an Apple girl.
Me too, but I use the only other music instrument that I use is Spotify, aside from Apple.
I don't play my Spotify as often, oddly enough. And people tell me that's how they learn new music is on Spotify.
Yeah.
So I need to get back on that route because I feel like I'm missing out.
They're pretty good with that. They're pretty good with that. I would not lie. Now, when people go to your page and look up your name, is it labeled Messy Mondays, Marley?
It's not, but I'm working on that. I'm going to fix that next now, too. Thanks for that call out.
Yeah, we want to make sure that people can find it. You know what I'm saying? Just so that we can keep making this summertime playlist grow. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And then I get into my feelings sometimes. So if you guys see some random songs on there, just pass by them or something. I don't know. Just move it along.
No, but everybody be getting in their feelings. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, for sure. Ever be in your feelings about the most simplest things and realize that me thinking about being 40, I had to pull that back. That was me and my feelings in a moment. So I had to push that back for a bit. So, but shout out to the summer playlist. Shout outs to the summer. It's 90 degrees in Seattle today. It's hot.
Wow.
And there's no central AC, so it's hot.
I couldn't even fathom that Seattle would get that hot. I didn't know that.
I don't remember the last time it rained, to be honest. It's been a while since it's rained. I mean, it was gloomy the other day, but it has not rained in a while. So it's so gloomy and sad. It is, but not in the summertime, people.
How interesting. You see the stereotypes?
The stereotypes of cities.
Yeah.
Well, there's that stereotype. What's the stereotype of Miami?
That you have to speak Spanish to live here. That's one stereotype.
How true is that stereotype?
Technically.
How true is it? Oh.
Yeah, I mean, well, technically that's kind of true. Well, one thing I can say is that everybody thinks that, like, nobody works out here. Like, it's like you're just out here on vacation and, like, you're, like, chilling. No, people have real jobs and you can't go to the beach every day. You know, it's like, it's a real place to live.
It is. I mean, you have access to the beach easier, too.
Yeah.
So I think that's that feel. But that stereotype of Miami is half true.
Yeah.
It's like 50-50. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's like going to It's like going to Dykeman.
It's like going to Washington Heights.
Yeah,
you're right.
Going to Washington Heights and not expecting that you need to know some sort of Spanish to walk through. You know what I mean?
So, Marley, today's episode is super cool because, of course, we have an amazing guest.
I love having guests. I love having guests who are like curators and unique and special. And I love that we get to kind of share with the world our guests.
Yes, absolutely. And the best part about our guests, I think is my favorite part, is that we're always in different states, which is the most awesome part. Because tonight's guest is all the way in Denver, Colorado, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, I still haven't been to Colorado. I need to figure out how to get there.
Oh my God, you must. It's so beautiful there. So beautiful. It's like a postcard. It really is. But with no further ado, we have Sydney. She has joined the podcast. Sydney, say hello to the messy listener.
Hi, everyone. How's it going?
Welcome, Sydney.
Well, thanks for having me tonight, guys.
Thank you for being here with us. Can you give us a little introduction about yourself and kind of what you do and how did you, are you from Denver? Did you grow up there? Tell us a little bit more.
Yes, so currently I am a student. I am actually going out to New York this fall to study fashion at the Fashion Institute of Technology. So fashion is currently I would say more than a hobby of mine at this point. I would say it's a passion. And so I love to share that with, people around me, people that know me. And it's all about, I like to showcase my outfits because that's something that means a lot to me. And it's more of, an art form to me because, picking out outfits and curating a specific style to your individual self is something that has been really important to me for most of my life, and it's something that I like to share with a lot of people. And so right now I'm just really into sharing my style and my fashion with people that follow me, the world, whatever it might be. And yes, I grew up in Denver, so I'm from the area. I haven't this will be my first big endeavor and adventure by myself, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Wow.
Yeah. Congratulations, by the way, for getting into that school. That's a really big deal.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a major fashion school, if I remembered from The Hills, if you guys ever watched The Hills.
Oh my God, I used to love The Hills.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's a big deal school, so congratulations on that. That's a major step forward.
Yes, thank you so
into
much.
the industry. And so tell us about kind of you grew up in Denver and leaving Denver for the first time to New York, which is major differences if you haven't been to New York.
Have you ever been? Have you visited?
Yeah, I've visited before. I wanted to make sure that it's something that will be a good fit to me because it's not something for everyone, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
So I've visited and I'm just really excited to get out there because, there's an immense difference between the, the cultural aspects or just the day-to-day life of, from Denver to New York. So I'm just excited to experience something really different and experience something that is going to be one of those things that I look back later on life and it's like a big stepping stone to where I end up.
Right.
Oh, for sure. What's the fashion difference or what's the fashion like in Denver? So what's the fashion scene like?
So the fashion scene in Denver is very casual. It's very earthy. We have different sort of selections. So in Denver, you're going to have a little bit more of the New York type of vibe. It's going to be a little bit more dressy. It's going to be a little bit more trendy. And then you have places like Boulder. That's going to be a little bit more hippie, so to say, and so there's a lot of different styles, but it mainly comes down to being a little bit more casual, a little bit more behind the trends that are going on, the East and the West Coast. So that's always been a little bit difficult for me trying to, fit and I'm not about fitting in, but just trying to have a style that people are going to understand, and they don't really in Denver. So that's why I'm excited to be out in New York to have people who understand that.
Right. Not to stereotype or to say that certain people from certain locations look a certain kind of way, but when you think of Denver, you automatically think that it's a colder state, so people are more bundled up, and the colors are more neutral, and people wear things that are more for the effect of being warm than looking stylish. So I don't know, when you see an individual like yourself, by the way, you guys need to check out her IG because she's super interesting
The
and
pictures
super,
are
yeah,
amazing.
really cool.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
and like you have like colored hair and like you wear funky clothes, like you're really unique. You know what I mean? So I can imagine in Denver, you must have stood out.
Yeah, and I don't aim my style to be standoutish. That's just how it's kind of always been. But it's something that, along with growing up, it's really made me realize a few things. And it's just one of those things that I realize now that I don't want to fit in. I don't have to fit in. I don't need approval from other people on what I wear, how I look, what I'm
For sure.
into. And I think that growing up in Denver, and I'm lucky to at least it's Denver because, there's people who have these sort of interests in similar styles to me that grow up in smaller areas, like farm towns in Illinois and stuff like that. So I'm not ungrateful for, the life that I live here because it's awesome. It's so much fun, but it's just really made me realize that I don't need approval from other people. I don't need anyone to really understand where I'm coming from as far as my style. I just like to wear what I like to wear. And, if people don't understand that, I'm very okay with that.
Right. But
I
look, it's
love that.
obviously working because, for example, my personal favorite outfit. I'm not sure if you bought this or if you made this happen with somebody else, but that blue outfit you have, that's like has like a transparent in the middle and it's like a dress. It's so beautiful. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Is that something that you found like at a thrift store? Because this is so unique.
No, I actually find a lot of my clothes online. A lot of people, I like to shop at places like Forever 21 and stuff like that just because I think it's really important that people realize that, you can still find a lot of good pieces at common stores for lower prices. It's just all
Right.
about how you put them together, and so I like to shop a lot at like Nasty Gal, which is where I got that blue dress from, and Zara and ASOS, a lot of places online that are pretty popular to people who
Yeah.
like to shop. So it's just all about, finding what works for you and then making that into your own specific style.
Right. Have you ever styled someone?
Yeah, I like to do that actually. I do that with my friends pretty often, and I mainly do it with myself when I do, shoots with other people and stuff because a lot of people like to collaborate with me to get, a lot of outfit shots. So I like to do that mainly with myself, but I'm hoping to get more into that as I move forward in the industry.
Is that your next direction, you think, styling, or is it more designing, especially with school coming up at the Fashion Institute, Fashion Institute of
Yes.
Technology?
Yep, that's it.
What's your kind of goals after that? Or like, is it more into the styling aspect, the designing, a little bit of both?
Yeah, I hope to really be able to do. I'm not so much into designing because if you knew me at all, I can't sew to save my life. I can't work a sewing machine. I can't hand sew. I can't do any of that stuff. So I really hope that I can. I like to write, so I hope to maybe make my own magazine one day, or I hope to be
How awesome.
yeah, to be a writer helping a editor in chief of a magazine, or help in a styling direction on sets of different things because that's something that's always been of interest to me, and I hope to one day live out that passion.
Yeah, because definitely your blog, as I was reading kind of your breakdown of like your faves or kind of different aspects of Fashion Week in Paris, you do some great writing. You really broke down a lot of the pieces or your favorite ones that stood out. So
Oh, thank you
I
so
can
much.
definitely see that.
Yeah, and I honestly think you have a good taste. You can't teach taste, and I can see it all over. You have very good taste. And if anyone is even looking for a person to get styled for a photo shoot, you need to hit up Sydney because it's fire. I'm not even saying that because she's on the show. Like, she really has really good taste.
Oh, thank
But
you so much.
no, seriously. Now, I see that you guys have this on the actual blog. I see also you guys have a fashion boot camp
Yeah,
or a
so
fashion camp in Denver. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
yeah, so this is catered, towards people who are interested in style, and it's been a big hit for the past few years. I work with a company called Fashion Denver, and it's really just about being creative, expressing who you want to be, and it, can come from a young age. It can start when, these people are kids, which is really interesting to see as well, because I see a lot of kids at these types of camps that are really excited to just be working with fashion. They hope to, grow up and pursue that, which might not always be the case, but, it's as a young person to already be started and interested in this field is exciting for me to see as someone who's a little bit older than some of the people in this camp. And so I really try to facilitate and to really guide and, show the reason why I am so into fashion as well, and try to help them, find that passion that they might already have and just how to, curate it and pursue it.
Awesome. So when you go there, you guys teach people how to be stylish? Just so...
It's more just, it's more just letting people be creative, we do some designing aspects of it. We do some, learning how to style pieces together. So it's not necessarily, teaching people how to be stylish, but it's helping them bring out their inner style and their inner fashion.
Very cool.
Yeah, thank you.
What are some of your style icons, or people you kind of not look up to, but kind of be like, ooh, I like that look, or how you feed off of, or on Instagram, or of certain celebrities or anything like that?
Yeah, so I I'm not someone who really is good at taking other people's outfits and making them into my own. I really find, my inspiration for my outfits, within myself. I'll go into my closet and I'll stare at something for, I'll stare at my closet for a while and I'll try on a bunch of different combinations. So I have a hard time, there's people that inspire me with their style online, but I have a hard time, saying that I have celebrity style icons just because I don't know, I'm bad at finding inspiration from other people's looks just because, I don't know, I never can do it the same as them, and so I like to be my own self in that sort of aspect. But I like a lot of I wouldn't say celebrities, I would just say people that I see on Instagram that are really into fashion, and that's clear. There's a lot of people, and I really follow a lot of designers and their pages as opposed to people and their outfits.
Yeah,
sure.
Right.
I think that that's really I love seeing what new stuff comes out and how that can really inspire the way that I progress my style as well, So I would say I'm more into designers, so I like Alik's studio, and I like Alexander Wang, and I like his new collection that he just put out. I like... now, of course, I'm blanking on all of the people that I like.
No, but you're naming some awesome people, though.
Yeah, so I just I think it's more for me about following designers and their brands as opposed to people, just because I feel like that's more of the way that I gain inspiration as opposed to looking
Right.
at other people's outfits.
By the way, there's an Alexander Wang shirt, and my friends know this at work, that I have been obsessed with, and it's just a t-shirt. Obsessed with, and I've been wanting to buy it, and I just can't pull the trigger.
You just gotta, sometimes you just
that
have
it's
to
in
pull
the
the
cart.
trigger.
It is just in the cart sitting there, and I was like, I really want this.
I think
really
you
want
should
this.
just go for it, 'cause that's how I do with shopping. I'm very, impulsive almost in that sense. If there's something that I see and I enjoy, I'm gonna buy it because why not?
Why not?
I get it.
There's some things with fashion that make you feel that way.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just want that dress. You know what? I'm just going to have the dress.
Yeah.
Or I want those shoes. And
I'm
I'm
a
just going to have
very
it.
strong believer how sometimes you're not out to buy the item, but then you bump into it and you're like, I gotta get this. I'm a strong believer in that because you never regret that specific thing you pick up when you're not shopping. Because
Yeah,
it
true.
ends up being perfect. It ends up being absolutely perfect because you find it naturally. I love it.
Yeah.
Or it's like when you don't have money, you see everything that you want and need.
That could not be more true.
And when you do have money and you're like, ooh, I'm going to go shopping, there's absolutely nothing.
That is
right?
that's the worst, and that is so true.
And that happens to me more often than not, believe it. I'd be like, oh, today's a shopping day, and I'll come back with nothing in hand.
That is so funny and so true because I relate to that so much.
That's why online shopping, I have a mixed feelings about online shopping. What are your thoughts on that? Because for me, I still kind of like to see in person the stuff. I don't like the whole trouble of like trying and not. And I know a lot of the places you named were online stores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it really has to also do if you shop there often. It helps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's true.
I'm like a very avid online shopper. I That's like all I do really because I think, especially living in the area that I do, it's the same few shops, in every single mall. They don't have, what New York or LA or Miami and stuff like that do. They don't have like those individual boutiques that carry really like individual pieces and stuff
Right.
like that. So I really look online. That's like the main arena that I shop in. But I do agree, sometimes it can be tricky because not you see something on someone else and it looks great, and then you get it and it's not for you. It just doesn't fit you right. It doesn't look right. It wasn't what you envisioned it to be, and sometimes that can really suck because when you try something on in the store and it's not what you envisioned it to be, at least
Yeah.
you just put it back.
Or the mistake of buying things that were made in China.
Yeah.
It always backfires. It's like, what size is this? Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
even
yeah.
know what is this. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I actually shop online at a few Chinese wholesalers, which it's a hit or a miss for me, but I get a lot of my clothes off of there, and a lot of people, are always asking where those pieces are from. So, like, to name one, AliExpress. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I've heard of AliExpress.
I shop on that all the time, and it fails me sometimes, but then that's not that big of a loss because it's
cheap.
inexpensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when you find something that's a total hit, it's just the greatest thing in the world.
That's a takeaway. We're definitely going to keep that one. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I recommend it like 100%.
Who does your makeup? You do your own makeup?
Yes, I do my own makeup.
Wow, that's a skill. You have beautiful makeup in all of your pictures. Do you color your own hair too?
No, I get my hair done.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you do everything. That's amazing.
No, yeah, I've been involved in like, or, interested in the makeup arena now for like a bunch of years. Lately, I've been on the more natural trend, but before I was really involved in makeup. I just think it along with fashion and hair, it's like its own art form, and it's just really fun to play around with different looks, different colors, and at the end of the day, it's something that you take off, so it's so fun to experiment and be completely out there and innovative with any look that you do.
I love that. Did you shout out your Instagram name? I don't think we caught that. I don't know if everyone, if we've mentioned that before, so make sure everyone knows how to follow you, where to find you, more info on you.
All right, so my Instagram is at Sydney Scarola, SYDNEY SCAROLA.
I love it. And I heard you have a messy story for us.
Yeah, share with us something that you may have learned in your endeavors, in your journey to being the best stylist in the U.S.
So, I wouldn't really say that, but
We put it into existence.
Yeah, you got to speak
thank
it, girl.
you. Yeah, no, I think that law is nothing but the truth. But
Yeah.
so, anyways, I think just something that I've experienced a lot from attending a lot of events, fashion weeks and fashion events that have happened in Denver is just, one time I had talked with someone online, quote unquote, what you could call an influencer in Denver. And, we had spoken to each other a few different times. We had a good amount of interactions, and they were all positive, talking online. It was very like, hey girl, how's everything going? I love your outfit pictures, very back and forth like that in a positive manner. And I see her at one of these events, and I go up to her, and it's like she doesn't even know who I am, and so to me, that was, at the time, in the moment, that was kind of disheartening because it was something where we showed a mutual respect for each other, a mutual understanding for what we both love to do, and that was centered around fashion and that type of industry. But when I think about something like that, it's just the lesson that I took away from that is that everyone in this industry is kind of back and forth. It's irreplaceable. It's very quickly moving, and there's a lot of people that are very fake, and I knew that before. going into this because that's just how every single industry is. But there's going to be people that aren't going to want to see you be successful. And I talked to her. And I'm like, hey, we talked online a few times. Like, if you don't remember, I'm Sydney. And she's like, no, I have no idea who you are. Being around a bunch of different people. And I'm like, well, that's weird because we talked a few times online. And she's like, I'm sorry, I can't remember right now. And
that's ugly behavior. That's not nice.
It is, because you have to be nice to everyone in this type of, and I don't say you have to be nice to everyone in this industry, but it's good too, because you never know who's going to end up having your back and who's going to want to see you fail. And so being nice to everyone is just something that I take as a takeaway in any situation, because I want people to cheer on my successes just as I know that they want me to do the same.
True. Especially if you're saying in Denver that it's kind of like a smaller circle when it comes to this type of interest, right?
Yeah, it's a way smaller circle. And so, a lot of different quote-unquote influencers know each other, know of each other, because it is a smaller circle, it's a smaller niche. And so that type of behavior is just, I think it's cruel, I think it's ugly, and I think that it's not going to get you very far, because you're pushing down different people who only want to help raise you up.
Right. But that's good that you learned that now while you're in your hometown, because when you get to New York, you have to be ready.
Oh, 100%.
Because one thing I know about people from Denver is that you guys are sweet, normally very sweet. And you guys usually go into a situation with a very friendly attitude, because that's just the way it is. That's the culture there. And, if you're seeing that people are already kind of two-faced when it comes to fashion in Denver, I'm sure that you're going to experience that at a higher magnitude in New York.
Oh, yeah, and I totally agree. And that's something that I already knew, going into and being in this type of industry. But it's just sad to actually see that happen, just because I'm always someone who just wants to see people's successes, especially people that are in the same industry as me, just because I know that it's hard to be in this type of arena, in this type of field, because so many different people are trying to make it. It's a very, competitive field. And so I'm always trying to cheer on people that I know. And so, to hear and be around a situation like that was, it's disheartening to see, because I only wished her the best. And so, that makes me I am not in contact with her. I don't want anything to do with her. And so I hope she's not around in my future when, I'm having my successes.
But I promise she'll be watching.
Oh, she definitely will be.
I promise she'll be watching. But we really appreciate you sharing your insight and actually speaking to us. I think we have a very special moment. I think that you being on our podcast is one of the interviews that are going to go down in history, because I have a strong feeling that this is not going to be the end of your journey. I think you're going to make it very far. And I think it's exciting that we get to speak to people at this stage. It's really awesome. And we also think that we would love to hear what people from Denver think. We don't really hear much from Denver sometimes, so it'll be really cool to hear what you guys have to say about Sydney and about what it's like. And, is it true that the influencers are a little bit, snotty? Just anything. We just want to have an interaction with you guys.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to what people here have to say as well.
And we definitely wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors with school at the Fashion Institute of Technology. That's exciting. And I'm excited to continue to watch you grow in your field in the area that you love.
But you guys are so sweet.
We love putting positive future thoughts out there, things that are going to happen, things that are befront. So that other influencer that kind of acted funny or whatever way that they were, is kind of see what they're going to miss out on, because you have to be careful who you cross paths with at times, and how you interact with others and how you talk to those, can have a huge impact on what the future looks like for yourself and for that other person as well. So, your future is looking great and you're moving on. And so I hope you really enjoy and love New York.
Yeah,
that's
thank
another
you so
experience
much.
as well.
You guys are so sweet.
Thank you for joining us for sure. And tell the people once again how to find you, where to follow you, and all that other great stuff.
Yeah, go ahead, follow me on Instagram. Like I said before, it's at Sydney Scarola, SYDNEY SCAROLA. And I'll be sure to hopefully hear from some people that I know in Denver as well. So thank you guys so much for having me on. I had so much fun.
Yeah. Don't you have a YouTube channel as well?
Oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel. It's just my name, Sydney Scarola, as well. And I haven't uploaded recently, but I hope to get back into it. I like to do a lot of lookbooks and like cinematic type of lookbooks, fashion related.
Very cool.
Thank you again, Sydney. Well, that was nice. I loved
Wasn't
having
she
that.
sweet?
She is super sweet. Definitely reminds me of The Hills, or what is the other show? Laguna Beach ish.
Oh my God,
Because
Marty,
when
I
going
love
to
all those
I love
shows.
those shows, but it just when they go to anyone mentions at school, that's all I think of is like how Lauren and Whitney worked at Vogue. Oh, just the whole thing. It's just amazing.
I know. And it's crazy how they all have that like soft tone when they speak. It's like part of being a fashionista. Like,
She's
speaking
gonna
a
make
soft
a
tone.
huge impact just because she's very soft spoken. She's gonna
Yeah.
make a huge impact. So that's awesome to have someone who's like a person in that industry who's very just more into the layers part of it, right? Like more
Right.
into the breaking down and her writing and things like that. Like that's a whole different part of the fashion industry that people don't pay attention to.
Right. And it's a really big part of the fashion industry, actually.
Major, like more critique-ish, right? Like
Yeah.
because she's focused on the writing, and if you read her writing, it's very nice, and it's more on the critique-ish side of like
She's talented.
how things are
Definitely
layered in
talented.
piece. So very talented, and shout outs to Sydney for joining us,
Yeah.
and sharing her story. And now we're gonna get down to the mess.
Because we always have to tell it the best.
And I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, and this kind of goes hand in hand with what Sydney's situation was, almost. But more about how people interact with others or how they behave towards others and how they kind of accept critiques and things like that. And recently, well, what are your thoughts on Nicki Minaj in the past, I guess, well, overall, from the start of her career to now? Are you a
Let's start
Nicki
with that.
fan?
Yeah.
Or are you a Barb? Or are you just a listener?
I never would consider myself a barb. That was not something I ever claimed. You know what I'm saying? I think that, you know how everybody's like, a member of the Beehive or the Barty Gang or whatever. I think it's super cute that, people do that and they do the hashtags and it's whatever internet shit. Really cool. But me personally, I love music, but I don't go in that deep. You know what I mean? But Nicki. What I liked about Nicki when she first came out is that she was unique at that time. So I feel like at that time it was interesting to see a animated character that was spitting decent because Safari was writing for her. And
Jeez.
you know what I mean? I mean
We know.
it's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So then and also, she had a big butt and like that really like opened up a lot of opportunities for a lot of girls with big butts. So it's like, I come from that tribe. So it's like, shout out to girls with big butts. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Because before that, it wasn't really as accepted. Let's be honest here. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, people were
Nicki-
bugging out
Nick-
over J-Lo before that. Just about J-Lo's
Right.
booty.
And now it's
Yeah.
like, J-Lo, please. You know what I'm saying?
J-Lo can't keep up with all these other bitches out here with booties.
Exactly. So it's just like, it's cool. And like, she kind of did that. That was cool. I really enjoyed her first couple of albums that were entertaining. But with Nicki, like, after I heard her album once, I didn't go back. You know what I'm saying? And like, listen to it 3 years, the 3-year ago album, and I'm listening to it now. Like, I wouldn't say that. However, as time has progressed, she's really good at giving us a hit. And I like the hit, and the hit is cool, and it's like female power hit, cool. Like, she's a beast, and she's saying funny shit, and the punchlines with the sports metaphors are pretty cool.
Especially if you know
but-
that stuff. Especially if that's like your wheelhouse of like knowing what she's saying and kind of catching on kind of what East Coast references of like New York and like certain things like that kind of, and that personality too that's very East Coast, kind of like, she's the girl of the guys kind of thing, kind of out there.
Yeah.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
continue.
That was that. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I think that it was a really bad move to even stoop down to try to compete with Cardi. I think that was a really bad move because she was already not the hottest at this time, and like then to like kind of have this rumor. I don't know who started it. I don't know if they did it just for publicity, but I don't think it was a good move because I feel like ever since that got bigger and bigger, like her popularity declined so much.
I I think she paid attention. And so when we get into the story of what recently happened, this shows you that she pays too much attention to what people are saying, because that Cardi beef wasn't like Cardi just saying, Cardi never said shit, right? From my understanding, like, there was any, if we're wrong, tag us in it, whatever, but from my understanding, Cardi never said anything bad about Nicki. She's just another girl, just like us, who knows the verses to Nicki's songs, right? Like, it wasn't, she never said anything negative about her. And I think Nicki kind of takes that, like, when, or looks like, you know, she saw that Cardi was getting bigger and people kept mentioning and putting the beef together themselves. And she actually fell into that.
Yeah, right.
Right?
She can't resist herself.
Yeah, like people talking. And yes, Cardi took her hairstylist, because we can tell the difference between the hairstyles now. If y'all haven't pay it. Oh, gosh. Anyways. So what else? Was that your ending? Sorry.
Well, I mean, it's not really much. I don't think that it's over for her, but I think that it's gonna be over for her if something doesn't change quick. You know what I mean? And it's like, I just don't. You know what I don't like either? Like, I can tell that she's not a nice person, and like, I don't like people that are not nice. Like, you could be a lot of things. You could be antisocial. You could be to yourself. You could not fuck with niggas, whatever. But when you are like a mean girl, like, I don't like that. And I think that Nicki kind of comes across like a mean girl.
So she's not a girl's girl.
No, I don't see her that way. I don't see her that way.
I don't think I've ever thought about seeing her in that way. But as you say that, I'm like 50-50 on it. And this goes into a great segue as to what happened recently. And I'll give you my little 10 cents on Nicki. I feel mostly the same way as you were. I knew the music. I didn't run back and play the songs. I know the songs. Like, if you tell me to rap Starships or whatever, or boom boom boom, what is the song? Boom 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 boom.
Yeah.
Super bass. I know the lyrics to Super Bass. That's a karaoke song for the gold if you want to win. But but I never gravitated to her as like a Missy. Like Missy Elliott. Right?
Oh, come on, not even nowhere near that.
Okay,
yeah, I get it.
Like, and if you look at creativity, like Nicki was creative in the things that she did, because I'm not such a girly girl, Barbie-ish kind of girl. That may have been one of the reasons I didn't gravitate to it too much. But I was more in like the Nicki, Missy's creativeness is a whole nother level of creative, right? Like, it's a whole other outside the box kind of deal. So that's one. And she doesn't look like a girl's girl, or she doesn't come off as a girl's girl either. And that's cool. Like, not everybody's a girl's girl kind of thing. More girls sometimes like to hang with the guys because they don't want to deal with bitches anyways, right? Like, you just don't want them in your circle.
But that's okay.
And that's
that doesn't
cool.
mean you gotta be mean.
You know, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that too. So down the line, like, I realized as I got older, and Nicki's in our age range, right?
Right.
So there's things where people have to grow with their music. We mention, think of someone. Kanye. Well, no.
No.
No. I'm trying to think of someone who, Drake. And I'm just going to say, it's another male, but whatever. That's someone who has grown with his music and grown with us. So the trajectory of what we were in our 20s, we can, if you go back to that music, be like, that was our 20s, right? Like, oh, like you're thinking about 6 different people and blah, blah, blah. And you're, whatever the life you're living, and you're growing. And then now the message is about how much you love one, whatever.
Or even Beyonce. I can say that. Because Beyonce was a pop singer.
Yes.
And now she's just become an artist. Like, she creates art.
It's about the growth. And I think Nicki has not grown with herself and with us. And maybe that may be because of the Meek thing. That may be because of whole different other layers. But she has not. We saw her slowly going into a change of a grown woman. Remember when she used to only wear her black hair?
Yeah.
And there was a time frame. We thought that was the growing part. And then it went right back to the colored hair. Which is cool. But at the same time, like, it went back to the Barbie thing. Right? Lady Gaga. That's the one. Lady Gaga. Extra as hell. Wearing a meat dress. Blood everywhere.
Right.
At the VMAs. Right. And then just slowly, as a woman,
she grew
into her womanhood and grew up to what she is now. And her fans continued with her. Right. Nicki, I think, has lost the people because she has not continued to grow with them. Does that make sense?
That's a very good observation.
So, a couple weeks ago, this was June 29th, And a writer by the name of Wana, and this is at Wana's World, wrote, you know what would be, this is after Chung Lee and, that Ariana Bed song. And you can tell the record label or whomever is putting in a lot of money, people. There's a lot of money going into this stuff.
There is, and Ariana is like a pop sensation. So that was all just strategy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can see when the strategy is being done, you know?
100, the marketing strategy is on 100. But there's a lot, like these videos were a lot. That Ariana Grande collab and pushing that and trying to push that down us was a lot. Chung Lee and what's the other song?
I know what you're talking
they
about.
were good. They were good. They were okay, but they didn't hit. They didn't stick.
It's okay. You know what I'm saying?
They didn't
it's
stick.
part of the mix in a party, right?
Exactly. And then the album was pushed back to August or whatever. Anyways, Wana's World writes, you know how dope it would be if Nicki put out mature content? No silly shit. Just reflecting on past relationships, being a boss, hardships, etc. She's touching 40 soon. A new direction is needed.
I don't see anything wrong with what this girl said, by the way.
With that and that's simple criticism. I don't even think that was harsh criticism. Right?
It wasn't. It wasn't.
And literally she wrote what I thought without me even writing it. And I thought that before any of this happened. Right? Like, wasn't that like, right? It's about growth. It's about seeing people mature.
And I'm not trying to play Wana at Wana's World, by the way. If you guys want to follow her, because she deserves a follow.
100% after what I read.
Yeah, absolutely. But my thing is, who is Wana for Nicki to be wasting her time with? Like, I'm not even trying to play Wana. I'm just saying, girl, you famous. Like, why you even care?
There is a small connection between Wana and Nicki, but I'm not sure. I haven't really gotten the deep dive of it. From my understanding, she was an intern for Karen Civil. Karen Civil did a lot of older and previous marketing strategies and is a good friend of Nicki's. But I don't think an intern needs to hurt your feelings as much as what Nicki does next.
Right.
Okay. So Nicki's sends this girl a DM. A DM. Okay, so she in her messages.
Yeah, she's ridiculous.
So when and this is what Nicki says, when your ugly ass was 24, you were pushing 40. I'm 34. I'm sorry. Yeah, you were pushing 30. I'm 34. I'm pushing 40. LOL. And what does that have to do with my music? Eat a dick, you hating ass hoe. Got the nerve to have Trini flag on your page. You must not have heard the pink print or pills and potions. Bed of lies. Save me. My recent feature with Alicia Keys, Tasha Cobbs. Just to say you jealous, I'm rich, famous, intelligent, pretty, and go. But wait, leave my balls. Tired of you sucking them. And then 10 minutes later, Nicki comes back and says, I dropped my album almost 4 years ago. My bad. I'm 35. So at 31, how about you get like me? Why don't you ask me to help you get rich? Been on top and I ain't going nowhere, ho. And then a whole bunch of smiley faces. And a ho, which like HOOO.
I just don't think that Nicki needed to respond to this person. I don't care if she was an intern for Oprah. Like, I think that you need to not respond to people's opinions. Like, that's her opinion. Like, she is a listener and a consumer of music, and she thinks that Nicki's content is not age appropriate.
That's true.
My God, like, it's just like she had to go nuts like that on this girl. Like, that was too much.
That was a little bit, that was a little much. And poor Wana was then attacked by all these Barbies and all these children who call themselves fans, because no grown adult is acting that way, attacking people on their social media, calling them names and sending them death threats over some artist.
I mean, I hope not.
Like, that would be insane. That's insane. Yeah. If you're over 30 and you're doing that, you need help. But
well, no one should be sending death threats.
No.
Let's put that PSA.
That's one.
There. Yeah.
Nicki, to go off on this with this girl, she's butthurt for other things. Butthurt for knowing that this girl is more than likely right. You're not writing content that is age appropriate, connecting us, or keeping up with who were your fans.
Yeah. Right.
That's it.
And it's not only that, like, you know how there's a there's a thin line between like hoish and sexy.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of stuff that she does sometimes comes across hoish. And I'm not a really big fan of that. Like, I'm all about sexy women and girls looking good and showing off your beauty and all of that. But it's like sometimes I felt like it was just over sexualized with Nicki. And I don't think she needs to behave that way. In my opinion, I feel like she's already at a caliber in her career that she doesn't need to behave the way she does. Does that make sense in any way? I don't know.
Yeah, like you've strived and you pushed and you've reached a level of certainty that you don't need to act how you were before. You grow out of it. You change yourself out of it. You create new habits. You direct yourself in a different manner. Now here's the other part that I thought about. Cardi calls people bitches and hoes and things like that, but her clapback isn't about degrading you. It'd be more like, bitch, do you know who you talking to? Or like, bitch, do you know who how hard I've worked for blah, 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 and this and this? This is Nicki just like literally, I felt a little bit more degrading. Like, right. I'm intelligent, I'm rich, I'm better than you, you ugly ass, blah, 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 blah. It was a little bit, and you DM'd her. So you didn't make it public, and that's the other catch. You didn't sit there and under her tweet write this. You personally sent this to her.
But my thing is, if you have to tell people your list of accolades, something's wrong with the argument already.
Nobody's listening to the damn songs.
I can't come into an argument, into a room and say, you know what, I gotta prove a point now. I deserve, let's keep it in normal terms, like humans, like us, like normal people. I deserve this promotion at work. And then they're like looking at you like, why? You know what I'm saying? And then you gotta remind everybody about what you do. Nah, honey, you don't deserve the promotion. Like, they should know already what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that simple.
Your
like,
credibility speaks for itself. Or your work speaks for itself.
Exactly. If you're gonna sit here and now you have to remind people, like, she named songs that I hadn't even heard. I'm not even gonna lie.
Songs that I have not. We talked about revisiting things. Songs we have not revisited.
Right.
That we don't sit there and go back to, like, oh, play that Pills and Potions by Nicki Minaj. That's not a hit.
I don't know. That was such a weak move. Like, that's not how bosses move. And I feel like she's telling you, honey, you're supposed to be a boss by now. And I don't feel like that was a boss move.
Yeah. That
was not a boss move.
My favorite part is, like, imagine if she wrote adult content. Like, that's like mature content. Your audience has grown. Grow with your audience. Mature content. Justin Timberlake has grown with his audience. Mature content. Right? Beyonce. Who else? Adele. Like, people have grown with them.
And I think that Nicki Minaj has enough. I'm sure that she wants to keep a lot of things to herself, but she has gone through enough life-changing moments for her to get a little emotional on her music in a more like, as a woman, like, this is how I've grown type of reflection, type of approach for her music. She could do that. She's at a stage that it's not like, oh, little girl, please, what you talking about? No, like, this person can sit here and give a real good perspective and be a lyrical play on words that's going to really make people think. Like, she has the ability to create an album of that nature because she's been through enough to make that happen. And I feel like she got too desperate with doing the cover of the paper magazine in a very raunchy way just to get attention.
Oh, I remember that. We talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we weren't feeling it even back then. Right, I remember your reaction was like...
yes.
Oh my God,
yeah,
I remember.
Desperate.
I remember that. I like literally just right now, I completely forgot about that. And I remember your reaction. And I remember you saying it was disgusting. Like, you did not like it at all. It wasn't.
And I'm not an uptight person. I just don't like. And it's like, I'm not trying to act like I'm on our guest's level like Sydney, but I really like fashion. Like, I'm one of those people, I like clothes, I like to shop, like, and I'm one of those women that even when I was big or smaller, it doesn't matter. Like, I like to shop and I like clothes and all that. That's how I am. And I'm an online shopper and I like to look at, Victoria's Secret runway shows, and I used to watch Fashion Police. Like, I like stuff like that. So I also know that when people do editorials, the pictures are a little bit more risque, or like when you do the Rolling Stone cover, it's a little bit more, rock and roll. Like, you just, from being an American, stuff. Vogue is like, the Bible. So it's like, if we all know that, I feel like that was in poor taste and that wasn't smart.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I definitely feel you, and I think it's about mature content. Like, you're not pushing for the 16-year-olds anymore. And if you are, continue doing the path that you're going. And I guess we'll see what the new album looks like or sounds like. It was pushed back. And she's had a lot of weird instances where, did you see like the video that she posted about her opening Chanel bags or gifts boxes? And everyone's like, it was weird. It was super weird. And she put out a new song recently just today. And I don't even listen to this kid, that 6ix9ine kid from Brooklyn with the rainbow hair. The song was okay. I was like, I need to revisit it because I'm not too sure. I don't know how I feel about it. And she keeps doing the same every word rhymes or back-to-back rhyme. And I think we've grown out of that as well. It was cute in 2010, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what? I hope Nicki proves everybody wrong.
Yeah.
And I hope this album is fire. And I hope that she takes back her position, because at the end of the day, she has earned her position. So I really hope that she shuts everybody up. Please. Because if you don't, honey, it's fucking curtains for you, honey. Curtains.
It might be your wrap. You might need to hang up the wig and just move along. So best of luck to Nicki. Shout out to Wanna's World, I'm sorry, for that tweet that we all agree with. If you're an adult woman, you agree with this and what she said. So shout outs to her for just saying what we all thinking. And probably most of us already wrote and tweeted out loud. So shout outs to her. Let us know your thoughts and opinion on Nicki Minaj and kind of on the artist level. We're talking about criticism on the artist space, as presenting herself and what she's bringing to the table in the music of hip hop. I'll also pull up a poll on our Instagram stories and let us know what you think about that new song, any of the new songs. Are you feeling any of these that came out? That Ariana Grande was being pushed in my face. I watched the video. I got nothing. So I'm just being for real. There was pieces of it that just didn't do it for me.
Speaking of Ariana Grande, shout out to Cadence, one of our guests.
Yes.
Yes, her song made it to the album.
It did.
Shout out to Cadence.
Shout out to her. See, that was a Messy Mondays exclusive, ladies and gents. Cadence, the producer, was on here, songwriter, singer, the everything. And we show you that we have people on this show who are going to elevate out there. So be on the lookout always for what Messy Mondays got going on. Be on the lookout for Sydney, 100%. Yeah. So leave us your comments, questions, suggestions, concerns at Messy Mondays Pod on Instagram, Messy Mondays Podcast on Twitter. Check out the YouTube channel. Check out, you can email us at messymondayspod@gmail.com. And do you have any going out messages out there? Show me.
I think that we are approaching our 1-year anniversary soon.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll find a way to celebrate it. And we want all of you guys to give us suggestions, get involved, let us know. And of course, please make sure to contact us if you're interested in being a guest on the podcast. If you also just want to recommend someone that should be a good guest, that would be awesome. If you guys want to talk about a messy story and talk about it and just dive in and dive deep and get crazy, you guys can be a guest too. You don't have to be popular. You don't have to be anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just about having a conversation, ladies and gentlemen. And you can follow myself at SHOMI_ENT and Marley at LoveMarley_. That's our names on Instagram. And you're also going to be seeing that information on the Messy Mondays podcast Instagram, where you're always going to get all of our information, guys. Your girl, Marley.
Thanks for joining us.